Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Divya. Today I'm going to start a new concept of business policy and strategic management. Here we are going to discuss about Bcg Matrix Model. This model helps the organizations to plan their business activities much more effectively, efficiently, and productively to gain the market leader position. Now, let us understand what do you mean by Bcg Matrix. The full form of BCG is Boston Consulting Group. This matrix is developed by Bruce Henderson of the Boston Consulting Group in the early 1970s. According to this technique, business or products are classified as low or high performance depending upon their market growth rate and relative market share. This matrix helps the business to analyze growth opportunities by reviewing the market growth and market share of products and further helps in deciding where to invest, when to discontinue, and when to develop the product. Let's understand why BCG matrix is important. BCG matrix is important because it helps us in assessing profile of products or business, to assess the cash demands of the product, to assess the development cycle of the product, to assess the resource allocation and divestment decision. Divestment is nothing but if your product is really doing good in the market, if it is able to generate better profits and revenues, you try to invest into that particular product or service. If the same product is not doing good in the market and if it is not generating any profits and revenue, you try to cut down your investment onto that product and you try to eliminate that product from the market. That is nothing but your divestment. It will also help us in assessing or identifying which products a company should invest further and which product to divest. And finally, it helps in developing a long-term strategic marketing plan to create more profitable product. Now let's understand what do you mean by relative market share and market growth. To understand the Boston matrix, you need to understand how market share and market growth are interrelated. If we talk about market share, it is nothing but the percentage of market captured by the organization by providing services to that particular customers, and if that percentage of market captured is highest, you can also be called as a market leader. So, in simple words, market share is a percentage of the total market that is being served by your company, measured either in the revenue terms or unit volume terms. So, here is a simple formula. Business unit sales this year divided by leading rival sales this year. That gives you the market share of your organization. So the sales generated by your organization this year and the sales generated by the leading rivalry this year will give the percentage of market share you have captured. So the higher your market share is, the higher proportion of market you can control. If we talk about the market growth rate, it is a measure of a market's attractiveness. Market growth rate is defined as the rise in sales or market size within a given customer base over a specific period of time. When a business analyzes its market, it requires interpreting its market growth rate. The sales growth is compared with the market growth rate, and the markets experiencing high growth are ones where the total market share available is expanding and there is plenty of opportunity for everyone to make money. So the formula for market growth rate is individual sales this year minus individual sales last year divided by individual sales last year. So the sales generated by your company last year, if we take out the difference with the sales generated by your company this year and then dividing it with the last year's sale, will tell you whether your company's growth rate has increased or decreased. So here is the model of BCG matrix. BCG matrix is also called as BCG growth share matrix. In this model, your x-axis talks about market share and your y-axis talks about market growth. And this model is divided into 4 categories: stars, question mark, cash cows and dogs. Star is with high market growth as well as high market share. Here your company is really doing good with better profits, revenue and better opportunities. If your company is into question mark stage, that means your market share is very low but your market growth rate is very high. Why your market share is low is because you have less investment, due to which you are not able to capture majority of the market. But the demand for your products and services are very high. So it's time for question mark to either generate the investments from stars or cash cows or tie up with them. If they fail in doing it, they end up being a dog. Third category is cash cows. This is a stage where the market growth rate is low but the market share is high, and your company has reached to a stage where it has crossed the growth and it has lump sum of cash available with it, and this is the time for them to start funding to different companies like question mark and stars in order to diversify their revenue generation. And the fourth category is dog. This is a stage where your company's growth rate is also low, your company's market share is also low, and there is no new opportunities or new customers for your company, and no company will be interested to invest into your organization. So here is a model which gives you a brief details of 4 categories. If we talk about question mark, it has low market share and high market growth. If we talk about stars, it has high market share and higher market growth. If we talk about cash cows, it has high market share and low market growth. If we talk about dogs, it has low market share and low market growth. It is a portfolio planning model which is based on the observation that company's business unit can be classified into 4 categories: question marks, stars, cash cows and dogs. It is based on the combination of relative market growth and market share to the next based competitors. If we put this BCG matrix into the product life cycle, your x-axis talks about the time taken by the 4 categories in order to survive in the market or to move from one stage to the other stage. If you are talking about y-axis, it talks about the sales generated by the different categories at different stages of life cycle. So here it goes. When we talk about introduction stage, question mark starts with the introduction stage. If they generate investments, then they can enter into a next stage, that is growth stage. If your company enters into a growth stage, then it is called that your company is into the category of stars. And over a period of time, due to the heavy competition, your product may enter into the next stage, which is maturity stage. And once your product enters into a maturity stage, your company becomes a cash cow. And this is a stage where you don't have any new customers or new opportunities coming onto your way. With the existing customers and opportunities, you try to generate the profits and revenue and also start funding to stars and cash cow. And once your product enters into a decline stage, that is a stage where the market growth and market share of your company completely falls down, and you enter into a dog stage where there is no new opportunity or demand or profits or revenue or life left for your company. So in question mark, most business starts off as a question mark. They will absorb great amount of cash if the market share remains unchanged. Question marks have potential to become star and eventually cash cow, but can also become dog. Investment should be high for question marks. Stars with high growth and high market share are leaders in the business. They also require heavy investment to maintain its large market share. It leads to large amount of cash consumption and cash generation. Attempts should be made to hold the market share, otherwise the star will become a cash cow. As we all know, there is a huge competition in the market. Surviving as a star for a long run in the market is a challenging task. So stars should be very careful in terms of surviving in the market. Cash cows. They are the foundations of the company and often are stars of yesterday. They generate more cash than required. And also extract the profits by investing as little cash as possible. They are located in an industry that is mature and not growing or declining. And here they will be in a position of break-even point. When we talk about dogs with low growth rate and market share, they are called as cash traps. If any companies have invested into a company which is already into a dog stage, getting back the invested amount is very difficult. Your cash gets trapped because the company is not doing good. And dogs do not have potential to bring new opportunities. They need high cost, but their quality is very low. Business is situated at a declining stage when they are in the dog category. So now let's understand what are the benefits or advantages of BCG Matrix. BCG Matrix is simple and easy to understand. It helps to quickly and simply screen the opportunity open to you and help you to think about how you can make the most of them. And it is used to identify how corporate cash resources can best be used to maximize companies' future growth and profitability. If we talk about the limitations and disadvantages of BCG Matrix, it uses only two dimensions, relative market share and market growth rate. And the problem in terms of gathering the data in terms of market share and market growth rate is very difficult. High market share does not mean profits all the time. And business with market share can be profitable too. So this can also be a limitation. So let's take an example of Coca-Cola to understand the BCG matrix. If we talk about question mark, where the growth rate is high and the market share is very low. So Fanta and Sprite are the two products of Coca-Cola which has the higher growth rates but low market share. When we talk about stars, where the growth rate is high and market share is also high. So Thumbs Up, Maaza and Kinley, these are the three different products which has higher market growth rate as well as higher market share captured in the market. When we talk about cash cows, where the growth rate is low and the market share is high. So Limca and Coca-Cola are two different products which are in the stage of cash cow. And if we take an example of dogs, Diet Coke, Minute Maid Pulpy and Kinley Soda. These are the three products of Coca-Cola which are not doing good in the market due to low market growth rate as well as low market share. We can also take an example of Google, where in the question mark stage, your Google Play can be added. If we talk about stars, YouTube and Google Plus are in stars. And when we talk about cash cows, Google search engine itself is in a stage where it doesn't have any more opportunities, but still it is doing good. And when we talk about dogs, Web 2.0 and Orkut, these are the two different products of Google which are in the dog stage and dog category with low market share and low growth rate. We can also take some other examples. If we talk about smartphones, if we take a brand of Apple, when we talk about stars, the mobile phones, smartphones of Apple, they are in the star stage. If we talk about the Apple TV and smartwatches, they are in the question mark stage. And if we talk about cash cows, the Apple tablets are in the cash cow category, and the Apple iPod is into the dog stage. And we can also take one more example of FMCG, where we can talk about Nestle. Nestle is one such product where in the star category, Nescafe coffee can be added. In the question mark stage, you can add Kit Kat and Maggi noodles. In the cash cow stage, you can add Nestle fresh milk. And in the dog stage, you can add Milky Bar and Nestle Classic. So these are few examples of your BCG matrix. And finally, I'd like to conclude that though BCG matrix has its limitation, it is one of the most famous and simple portfolio planning matrix used by large companies having multi-products. I hope you all have understood the concept. Thank you for watching the video.